Hey guys, so a little while back I promised you guys an Onward review, and honestly, I need to keep that promise. So, I did say that Shrek is better than Onward, but Onward is still a very solid fantasy film. It's still a very solid Pixar film. Now, do I think it's the best Pixar film? No, it's somewhere in the middle. That being said, it did have some pluses to it. Um, the animation. People said that Toy Story 4 was the best looking Pixar film. Well, now that's blown out of the water with this animation. It's so immersive, so colorful, so expressive. Pixar really outdid themselves with the animation here. It's visually stunning. The voice acting, it's very good. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland really got into their characters. And, yeah, I have nothing more to say. Octavia Spencer was great. All the cast was great. Also, some of the concepts of this movie, like, it's our society, but it's filled with fantasy creatures. Some of those things I was getting into. I sort of liked, the convenience store, but medieval style. Also, the final battle at the end, it was epic. One of the best climaxes from Pixar to date. But honestly, I think that's where the positives end. Um, so I gotta be honest, this story, it doesn't feel like Pixar. It feels like a concept they just pulled out of their butt, at the last second, we need an original idea. Hey, what about we take medieval characters and just put them in our society, modernize everything in a medieval world? That's never been done before. That's why I said Shrek is better than Onward, because despite the fact that I like some elements of this world set in a modern medieval world, it just doesn't feel as fresh or interesting as it was in Shrek. Shrek did some clever things that outdid this movie. The characters, while good, they're just not as complex or three-dimensional as they were in Shrek. The world, it's kind of unfair for me to compare it to Shrek because it's not a fairy tale satire, but Shrek did some clever things. Instead of using an actual TV, they used a mirror. That was pretty creative. Of course, that was in Shrek 2. But the way they modernized everything in the Shrek world, it felt fresh and original. It felt, like there was some actual clever ideas there. And, they're thinking, hey, we got to make a fairy tale modern version of our world. So let's take some well known things that we all know and put it in our world, but kind of change some things. Like Burger King. This is executed brilliantly in Shrek 2. Instead of Burger King, they took it and replaced it with Burger Prince. That was really clever. Instead of Starbucks, they chose Farbucks because it's in a place called Far, Far Away. That is clever. That is an original concept. That works because at the time, it had never been done before, but also it is kind of like a modern version of our world because we have those brands, but they're just kind of named differently in that version of our reality. Onward, while interesting and visually stunning, it's not as clever or relatable as it was in Shrek because Shrek did it more imaginatively. People complain about product placement in movies. Well, the product placement works in Shrek because, they did something very creative with it. Onward could have done something like that, but they just kind of recycled a brand from one of their previous Pixar films, Inside Out, with Triple Dent Gum, which was pointed out by Jonathan Carlin in how Onward fits into the Pixar theory. I think that was a video. But so that's one of my issues. Another issue is it didn't make me feel that much. I mean, I think I may have felt sad a little bit, but I wasn't like bawling in tears. I was bawling at the end of Toy Story 3, and I wasn't exactly bawling at the end of Toy Story 4, but I think Toy Story 4 is a superior film because I actually care about what's going on here. These characters here, I didn't really care. I mean, I semi cared, but it's just not as engaging as it was in Toy Story 3. The characters, they're, I don't know, like, I guess I kind of like Tom Holland's character because he's kind of nerdy, and I can relate to him because I'm kind of nerdy. Barley, I found him really annoying. He really got on my nerves sometimes with all his like medieval talk. He can be kind of a nuisance at times, and kind of be a dumbass in some scenes. Instead of thinking rationally, deciding to do a smart thing in times of danger, he does something completely stupid and irresponsible. Like if they're trying to run away from a threat of some kind, he'll just stand there and do stupid stuff. He'll talk about magic. Dude, if you're being chased by a monster or something or cops, you need to keep running. You don't stop Ian from running away just because you want to do some magic. That's really irresponsible, and it really got under my skin. Um, I don't hate Chris Pratt. It's the character I don't like. I don't like the character of Barley. He just really irritated me. The Manticore was kind of interesting. She was pretty fun. Her design is really cool, like how she's half lion, half dragon, and all those other types of mixtures of animals. The mom, she was pretty cool. There are times when she can be a badass. The cop that she's in love with, the centaur, um, he's not really that great of a character. He's, the generic father figure that. What I meant to say is he's the generic stepfather, that has just come into the family, and the boys don't really accept him. He's kind of, iffy about whether he actually fits into the family or not, if he's accepted by his new stepsons or not. And I actually think he's kind of mean-spirited because, yes, I don't like Barley that much as a character, but I think it's way too far that he calls Barley a failure, a mistake, just an accident waiting to happen. That is a cruel statement, and no cartoon character should talk like that. No one deserves to be treated like that. And believe me, I was treated like that. So, you know, I can relate to some people that have been called a mistake that wasn't supposed to happen. I may not have been called it, but I felt that way, and I can relate to those people. Overall, Onward is an okay Pixar film. It's definitely not top tier. It's not up in the ranks of something like Monsters Inc. or Toy Story 3 or 2 or Up. I still think Up is probably the best Pixar film, and Monsters Inc. comes in a close second. I think it's smack dab in the middle. It's from the director of Monsters University, and it kind of shows. I don't really care for Monsters University that much. It's not bad. It's not awful. I think that Brave is probably Pixar's worst film to date. But still, Onward is still a weak Pixar film. It's not going to be getting the ultimate seal of trash, but it is a mediocre Pixar film. But hopefully they can go onward from this, and their future can be really great. So what did you think of Onward? Do you like it better than Shrek, or do you like it less than Shrek, kind of like me? I love Shrek, that's kind of why I say it's better. So, anyway, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys later.